Hey, I'm Scott Hall, psychic medium, and today we're going to talk about, or I'm going to talk about honoring your feelings during decision making. So I see this a lot with clients and me mainly. They're having trouble making a decision, and it turns out that there's feelings that are not being looked at, and those feelings are just running, they're steering the ship. I'm just notorious for this. So an example like car repair that's come up for Janet and me recently. I've always seemed to have something coming up with my car, and what I tend to do is like avoid the whole thing because I'm worried about money, and I've got these feelings of worry and fear, and instead of that disables me basically, where I'm just like in fear, like, oh, my car is broken, it needs this or needs that, and if it's drivable I'll still drive it, when really what I should do is go to the mechanic, find out how much it costs, you have it looked at, if that costs anything, determine hygiene, and determine if I can get an estimate. It may be like way less than I was thinking in my head, it might calm me down, but taking action instead of sitting there in the worry. So I gotta acknowledge that I've got these feelings of fear and just walk through them and say, okay, well, I need to hear it. I did that recently on a repair. It ended up being $1,000 repair, so it was like my worst nightmare in a way. But once I had the information, once I got over the fear and dealt with the decision to at least bring it in, then I had the information. I had fear again, like, how am I gonna afford this? That's a big chunk of money out of nowhere all of a sudden. But I was able to do it. I got it done, and it was no problem. My car runs fine now. Another common example, I think a lot of us have this. Like, you see a hairstylist who's a friend, and then you want to change hairstylists, and we're so empathic, we think, oh my God, that friend's going to be so upset because I just think I want to change hairstylists, and you're just like freaking out. And guess what? You need a haircut, or you need your hair colored for women, and you're just delaying the whole thing because of emotions that you're just not dealing with. You're not dealing with these feelings that you're having. Now, feelings from a psychic perspective or whatever, from the metaphysical to non-physical, the feelings have so much energy, way more energy than money has, way more energy than the time you have to put into making the decision, to making the call to change your stylist, to having the conversation, hey, look, I'm thinking about trying someone else, or whatever it is, whatever the actual action you have to take is way less than those feelings, has way less energy than those feelings. So you've got to deal with the feelings. It sucks, but you have to. And you'll be way better off having done it early. That's the other thing, is to honor your feelings, but honor them quickly rather than waiting like I normally do, is wait forever. And the funny thing is, we're so empathic that we overemphasize, we see us, we grandize, if that's a word. We just inflate our meaning, our importance on other people. So, and if your friend is whatever you do, in this business we trade readings, whatever, and you always read with one person, and then you decide to go do someone else. Oh my God, is she going to be okay with that? Whatever. You're thinking, you're making yourself so important to that person, but in reality they're just like, oh God, yeah, I noticed that Scott hasn't gotten a reading from me in a while. It's like, big deal, right? That's just part of life. So, honor your feelings, but honor them early too. Get it done early, and just use that. A lot of times with the ones I'm talking about right now, with the types of feelings I'm talking about now, with friends, it's empathic. So a lot of times it's our throat chakra that's involved, like to actually communicate something that we think someone's not going to take the information well. If we think it's going to be possibly negative, then we don't communicate well. We kind of close down here. And just think about it as like almost every time when you need to communicate how you feel about something, and it might be a change and you're thinking it's going to hurt the person's feelings, you're kind of closing up here. Another way, kind of on the same topic, but it's a little different take of it, is when money and like highly measurable things that are very very fact-based are involved in the decision. When it's high money, facts need to be figured out, and historically facts have been used to make the decision, then we really push down our emotions and the importance of our emotions in the decision. One example would be careers. So I get this a lot in readings too, is people are thinking switching careers, or just think switching jobs, just companies even. Because companies, that's the one where it's really just like, well, it's this other company and it's just this amount of money and it gives me this kind of prestige or this kind of ability to go here and take the next step, and that's how people are thinking, because that's how our society thinks about those things. And but really you have to tap into it. Okay, well, imagine, did you go to the company, you had an interview, right? How did that other company feel to you? What did it feel like to be in the office? What did it feel like? Did you talk to your supervisor, your immediate boss? So what does that person feel like to you? How does the whole thing feel to you? Because it's really important, because money is not everything. If you feel badly in a job, it's not a great thing. And changing careers is more emotional, because usually that emotion does come up there as well. Like, this is a big deal. Like, changing careers. Am I going to be successful at it? You have to tackle those feelings, and you've got to really look at them, honor them, and consider them in your decision. And I really like, for these, and even like the haircut one, visualize what's the new haircut look like. Like, visualize, like, how does it feel? And if it feels good, then it also, like, if you have to do some work, like with the haircut thing, is talk to your friend, say, hey, look, I'm going to get my haircut from this other person, and have that conversation hurt, or it might be something you don't want to do, obviously. If you can visualize the outcome, then you know where you're going. You're like, okay, yeah, that's a little bit of not so comfortableness, and then you have an outcome. But I found that when I speak to friends about things, my buddy Mike, who I jam with, sometimes I say, man, I feel like I'm cheating on you when I jam with someone else. He's like, oh man, it's just, I want you to be happy. I want you to go play with whoever. And it's kind of crazy, but that's how empathic I am. Is I'm like, oh my God, I've been playing with Mike forever. When I play with other people, I kind of feel funny about it. Or I feel funny about being excited about it. And he's like, no problem. So usually the other person's like, it's not that big of a deal. Another time when people, I feel like, need to tap into their feelings more is when purchasing a new home, or even renting a new space if it's not a purchase even. Think about, oh, well, the rent is this much, or the mortgage is this much, and I can afford that, and this has got a nice place, and it's got a place where I can do my, the laundry room's bigger, and that kind of thing. You forget, wait, how have you felt how you feel? Have you noticed how you feel when you walk in the place? How does it feel? Does it feel, compare it to your old place? How do you feel while you're walking through there? And even if you're not there and you forget to do that, because you come and you're thinking about the rent, you're looking at the place and the space and the square footage and all that, and you like the backyard, and you're not thinking about how you feel when you go visit, when you go check out the new apartment or home. You can still visualize, you can still go back and go and meditate and think about how that place feels, and you will know. Your body recorded it. It's recorded. You know how you felt in there. So that's really important. And by the way, so Janet and I have a workshop that reminds me, we have a workshop August 11th, just around the corner, this Sunday, called My Energy, My Space, where we will go over the how those two work together, how your energy and the space of your energy, the energy of your space, how those work together. And it really helps, especially with people buying a new home or renting a new place. The other thing is getting a new car. So I'm like a total car nut. I love my car now. I have a little fun Kia that's really fast and quick and fun, but I used to have a Porsche, and so I don't have a car that I'm like completely in love with, but I do like my car a lot. But for me, car purchases are an emotional thing. I really get into it, but it's funny with cars, I see it's like usually one or the other. Like, some people driving cars, I'm like, why did they choose that car? It's like, has no personality. But some people, it's just simply, this gets me from A to B, and it costs this much. But I feel like even those people, you can think about, like, well, of those cars that fit your budget and have the 4 doors and the trunk that you need, which one makes you feel better. I kind of feel, maybe I'm wrong with this, but I feel like there's some people driving a car that they didn't really check into that. They just checked the boxes, and that's all. That's all. They just did it for financial reasons, or ergonomic reasons or whatever. But for me, it's very emotional. The car has to feel right to me. I have to really enjoy driving it, because I used to drive on the racetrack all the time. I love driving, so it has to feel really good. And then when my car breaks down, then it's an emotional thing too. But so honoring your emotions is really important to make decisions. So when you do honor your emotions, the decisions become easier. They become, it doesn't mean that you're gonna not have to do some things that don't feel good, but you do them and everything's completely makes sense. Like we get it, it gets muddied up because there's this emotion underneath. Oh God, I gotta talk to my friend about that. I don't want to talk to my friend, and that muddies the whole thing. Do you need a haircut? Yeah. When do you need a haircut? Oh, last week. And do you have a video thing you're doing where you need your haircut, or a meeting where you need your haircut? Yes. When is that? In a day. Do you need a haircut? Yes. I need it now. So if you clear up the emotions, then you can make the decision, make it quickly. Nicole says Toyota Avalon is a great car to drive, feels really good and confident. Oh, good. That's good. So Nicole, you really felt into your car. So please tell me. I'm open to questions and or comments if you'd like about your cars, your haircuts, or your hair coloring, or getting a new job. Whatever decisions you have, please let me know if there's decisions and whether you have some decisions in the past where you really weighed the emotions. You really looked into it and realized that emotions were holding you up. Because sometimes it's just so crazy, like it's a haircut for Christ's sake, and you're delayed it now for 2 weeks because you don't want to talk to someone, or because you're afraid that you have to talk to someone or whatever. So what else? Someone's like, oh yeah, so I do. Oh yeah, what am I here for? One thing I can do for you is, if you'd like, is you can have a psychic reading with me. And in the reading, we can talk about decisions. That's a big thing that I can help you with, is decision making. I'm not going to make the decision for you, but I can give you all the information that your spirit guides give you, so you have everything. Because what it is, like, you're not really, it's all there available to you, but you're just like being blind to some things. And then if you lay it out on the table, look at it like, oh, here's the emotions, here's the money part of it, here's whatever different other aspects of it. But you're looking at the emotional part of it too, and how to tackle the emotional part of it. Once you get it cleared up, then it's a lot less to do. It just seems like a lot less to do, a lot less climbing to do, and you can just get it done and move on. So I love helping people with problems. I love helping people make decisions. I want to do more home buying or renting, where we got it in the works where we can check into remotely on things. So that's something, I'm saying this out loud, so I'm making myself do something about it, but we also can check in remotely on homes and things. We don't do that very often and don't offer it as a service publicly, but I think we should as well. And then you can have one way of checking with a professional to see, hey, how does that feel for you? You have the ability to get this information yourself, but the problem is when we're stressed out in a decision, that really makes it hard to trust our intuition. So that's what Janet and I could be there for home purchases. We usually, people send us photos of the home they're looking at, and we look at it and say, we've done it for friends before, and we say, yeah, that's good. No, that doesn't feel so good. That's good, or that house is great, but that one room, you need to sage that or have a little bit of clearing up there. Any questions? Any questions at all? Think of what else I wanted to talk about. Don't think there's anything else. Okay, so once again, just honor your decisions. Honor your feelings when you're making a decision. It'll make things go much more smoothly, because the emotions are not going away. They're just going to keep coming up until you deal with them. So go ahead and deal with them, and deal with them quickly, and then you'll know what's going on. Thanks again, and I hope to see you next week.